It is a little early to give an election prediction. We still have over a year until the next election. But I want to speak about the future of New Zealand politics. I want to speak about what I fear will happen. The political right has done a bad job in government. They have failed to fix the economy. Masses of businesses are shutting down, unemployment rates are high, people are still fleeing to Australia. The government is seemingly at war with itself, with a constant power struggle between the coalition partners. Worst of all, Luxon is an incompetent and unlikable leader. He is a bad communicator, he is out of touch, he is weak. David Seymour and Winston Peters run circles around him. The government has struggled badly in the polls. They never got the usual honeymoon period. The left has closed the gap quickly. In some polls, the left is ahead of them. I think a left-wing victory is highly likely in 2026. Not because the left is good, but simply because the coalition is so chaotic and incompetent. Many voters will run back to Labour. Not so long ago, I watched Chris Hipkins give his speech on the state of the nation. It appears Labour is still stuck in the past. They lack bold policies, they promise to competently manage the status quo. This approach is outdated. This approach dominated the 1990s and the 2000s. Helen Clark, Bill Clinton, Tony Blair, these leaders embodied it. But that era is over. People want change. They do not want competent management of a failing status quo. Voters have repeatedly indicated a desire for change. If Labour fails to provide that, we will have a very serious problem. I predict that the left will win in 2026, deliver mediocre and moderate governance for 3 years, and then they will get beaten by a more extreme right-wing coalition in 2029. That is what happened in US politics. Trump was thrown out, replaced by the moderate mediocrity of Biden, and then an even more extreme Trump was re-elected. Spineless centrism will not hold off the populist right. The left must embrace bold populism. Populist sentiments are prevalent. If the left fails to satiate them, the far right will. Look at the USA and Europe. Learn from their mistakes. The left needs to get its act together. We cannot allow them to deliver uninspiring governance only for the far right to win power in 2029. If the left governs from 2026 to 2029, they will set the scene for a very far-right government. Imagine it. 3 years of uninspiring and unimpressive Labour Party government. Constant stupidity from the Maori Party. Serious issues remaining ignored and unaddressed. Can you imagine a better political environment for the far right to rise? And Winston will probably be gone by then, meaning his voters will move on to someone far worse. We need a bold populist left to cater to these populist concerns, or else they will benefit the authoritarian right as they have everywhere else. That is my advice. In all likelihood, they will ignore it. In the long term, they will pay a very high price for that, as will the bulk of the population. Competent management of a broken status quo is not good enough. We need bold reform. We need fundamental change.